Here's how they work. Mitsubishi Electric's ultra-efficient heat pump systems consist of an indoor air handling unit and an outdoor condensing unit, which are connected via 2 refrigerant lines. Together, they work to efficiently transfer the desired cooling or heating energy to your personalized comfort zones. In summer, air conditioning is produced when heat energy from inside your home is absorbed by the system's refrigerant and transferred to the outdoor air. In winter, the refrigerant cycle is reversed, and the system extracts heat from the outdoor air and transfers it inside to heat your home. For those requiring high-performance heating in colder temperatures and climates, our expert engineers have developed hyperheating inverter technology. Our hyperheating outdoor units use an enhanced compressor design to continue extracting heat energy, even when the true outdoor temperature reaches down to negative 13 degrees Fahrenheit. When compared to other fossil fuel burning heating systems, our modern heat pumps provide exceptional heating performance while being a greener, more environmentally friendly option for your home. All of this is possible due to our advanced variable speed inverter compressor technology, which results in our systems using up to 40% less energy than conventional systems. In addition, a single outdoor unit can control up to 8 indoor units for added comfort and efficiency, with multiple styles available for added versatility. Our indoor units also feature true air filtration for your home, resulting in improved air quality with whisper quiet operation, perfect for any home, even a baby's nursery. With Mitsubishi Electric Zoned Comfort Solutions, room-by-room temperature control is at your fingertips. With temperature sensed at each of the indoor units, constant comfort is now a reality. With Mitsubishi Electric Zoned Comfort Solutions, put your comfort in constant cruise control. Our industry-leading, variable-speed, inverter-driven compressor steadily provides precise cooling and heating in each room or zone. Stop guzzling gas with yesterday's technology. Inside, many attractive and discreet indoor unit styles are available. These include wall-mounted, floor-mounted, ceiling recessed, and ducted options. Our advanced filtration is constantly cleaning the air directly in each room or zone. With removable, cleanable filters, a healthier home is within your reach. Clear up the air and make comfort personal.
So Benjamin, one of the aspects of a LEED certified home is energy efficiency, energy conservation, the energy and atmosphere pathway, and that's through the HERS index rating, sort of the miles per gallon for homes. The lower the better. So just tell us a little bit about what you've done here, what kind of HERS ratings you're seeing, what kind of features are included in the house and technologies that help get you that better HERS rating, and just really how you just went above and beyond typical LEED homes energy rating.
Sure. So our goal in building these houses is to get to net zero energy, where the amount of energy used in the home is offset by solar PV on the roof, and we're producing as much energy or more than we're using in the house over the course of a year. So we start with the envelope of the house and make it as airtight and as high an R value as makes sense before we get to diminishing returns. And that's really the philosophy on everything we've chosen to put into the home when it comes to energy is, at what point does spending more money on this particular aspect of the home start to not make sense, and we'd be better placed somewhere else, like an extra solar panel on the garage or something like that. So our walls are not as thick as some homes you may see when you explore green homes, but we've found that is the Goldilocks porridge, that point we want to stick with. Do you want me to go into detail on?
Yeah, what kind of just wall assemblies are you using and air tightness?
Sure. So they are, our walls in this house, it's a frame house, are 2x8 plates with 2x4 staggered studs. The staggered studs are 12 inches on center. Every second stud is an interior or exterior. That allows us to thermally break the walls to a high 90% of the walls. We still have thermal bridging on our plates and on our king studs around windows and doors, but overall it's a economical way to get a pretty well thermally broken home. And we use, want to talk about insulation?
Yeah.
We use primarily damp spray, dense packed cellulose, so shot into the wall, slightly damp. And we've been using that in all of our homes we've ever built. Every green builder I've met uses some version of that. We have a little bit of spray foam under our roof deck and some of our rim joist areas and around openings and penetrations. But our basic philosophy, and you've probably heard this before, is build it tight, ventilate right. And the first thing you ever want to do when adding energy efficiency to an existing home or building a new construction home is to make it as airtight as possible. That's the lowest hanging fruit, the easiest thing to do that has the most bang for the buck. You can achieve that airtightness in a variety of ways. There's the airtight drywall approach, there's other ways, but our air barrier is primarily our house wrap, which is a Blueskin VP100. It's a peel and stick, residential grade of a commonly used commercial house wrap that not only it seals around penetrations, so instead of putting 1,000 holes in your weather barrier when you install siding, it actually seals around those holes. The fact that it's peel and stick means that if you do have any kind of penetration in your sheathing, it seals that because it's stuck around that area. Since we've been using that material, and I have no stock in their company, we've gotten excellent blower door tests. The first house we did, we achieved a 0.58 ACH, which is slightly under the requirement for passive house.
Right.
So in general, we're aiming for under 1 air change per hour ACH at 50 pascals, which is the standard measurement of air tightness in homes. We're certainly happy when we get below 0.6, which is really, it's not something we feel we have to do, but it's just fun to brag about if we do. And depending on the type of the orientation of the homes, whether they're going east, west, Chicago has lots going east, west, and north, south mostly. We either slope the roof if it's an east-west facing house, we have a sloped roof at roughly 30 degrees, and we fill the roof up with solar panels that way. And if we're facing north-south, we have a flat roof, and we have each individual panel sit on the roof and slope itself. But probably more about the envelope. Do you want to?
Well, I just always like to ask if you've explored other options, like you'd mentioned, not having thicker walls, which is one thing. But then there's some builders just do like what you're doing, but all spray foam,
Right.
or maybe some exterior rigid. So just what's kind of your thought process on why you picked what you picked?
Sure. I certainly looked into a wide variety of envelope systems and walls. I've found, and maybe I'm wrong, but there's a couple reasons I don't surround the houses with rigid foam. One of them is ease of construction. I try to keep my houses buildable by your average tradesman with a little bit of instruction. And I feel like the detail necessary to get rigid foam and to detail that and to keep it watertight and airtight, it exceeds what I can expect of the average siding and or carpenter, siding guy or carpenter. And we don't have our own employees. If we did, we could train them and they would do that. The other thing about that is, well, we think we're building a pretty darn good house without it. But we like to keep our walls vapor permeable in both directions. And once you put foam on your house or in your house, you've pretty much lost that. Unless it's open cell or unless you're surrounding it with rock sole or something like that. But for the most part, I see people doing foam on the outside of their homes, and we choose our materials so that the walls can dry in either direction.
Makes sense. What about the windows? What kind of a window? Double pane, triple pane, U values, R values?
They're triple pane. They're vinyl triple pane windows manufactured in Chicago.
Oh.
They're relatively affordable. You can certainly pay a lot more for your windows. They're The U value 0.22, it depends on the size and whether they're operable or not. I think 0.19 if they're small and non-operable.
Okay, so it just changes depending on the window type.
Yeah, right. But they're great, and they really allow us to maintain the affordability of the homes.
Sure.
So versus something that would cost 2 or 3 times as much.
Okay.
And they're still triple pane, so they add quite a bit. I stick with them because they add a lot of comfort to the home. You know, not the energy, the added cost versus the energy savings might not be worth it on just a pennies versus pennies, but the added comfort is a huge selling point. And it's one of those things that buyers can just understand and see and touch. So that's why we keep doing that for sure.
Right. So I mean, it sounds like you've got a pretty simple but still a really good, tight, well insulated envelope. So I assume that allows you to do some unique things that we don't see too often, but we hope to see more with your mechanical systems. Can you explain a little bit more about that?
Sure. So we part and parcel with trying to get to net zero. We're producing electricity on our roof. We might as well use it in the home. So we've committed to doing all electric homes from now on. From actually 5 or 6 years ago, we started doing that. That is also a climate change thing. We understand we have to stop burning fossil fuels if we want to avoid the worst effects of climate change. We want to be an example of how that can be done on a small scale in the Midwest. It can be done on a larger scale. But that led us to some interesting opportunities with mechanicals. And we're always, same as before, always looking for the most efficient yet still budget-friendly mechanicals and appliances, and that's relatively our standard. So the most exciting mechanical thing for me are the Mitsubishi mini split systems that we use to air condition and heat the homes. Not only are they the most efficient, energy efficient, electric heat and air conditioning available, but they're a luxury feature in that they're super comfortable. I love to talk about explain to people how much more comfortable they are than what they're living with now. The variable refrigerant flow aspect of it allows you to keep your temperature set point a lot closer to where you set it, instead of the ups and downs, the blast of cold air you get in the summer that then stops, air movement stops, you get progressively warmer and warmer, then the blast of cold air again. We don't have that. They're running continuously. They're actually more efficient because of that. And you have constant air movement, which is also more comfortable. Plus you don't have those ups and downs. So, plus by having these Mitsubishi mini split systems floor by floor, we have a thermostat on each floor. So, which is also adds to comfort. You don't have the cold basement, hot second floor problem that most homes have. You can set those temperatures and each floor can be perfectly comfortable.
So you have one head on each floor?
We have a head in the basement, a head on this floor, and then a mini split ducted cassette version upstairs where we have 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, and a hallway. And you want to get airflow to all 4 of those. Whatever that, yeah.
Okay, but they all run on one condenser outside.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah, it's in the attic.
Yeah.
Oh yes, outside. Yes.
Well, outside.
Yes. Yeah. Correct. Yeah.
All right.
We also have condensing all-electric heat pump dryers. We have a heat pump water heater, a tanked heat pump water heater. We have an induction stove so that we can overcome really what is the only objection I ever have. And it's usually just a short-lived objection that we're not going to have a gas stove in an all-electric home. But I haven't had a complaint since people have moved into the home and started using the induction stoves. So this house actually has no formal duct system in it, like a normal house might, right? Just on the second floor, it has a limited short-run duct system. Yeah.
Have you looked into potentially any, because I know there are now ducted air source heat pump systems, looked at that as a trade-off, and then also, maybe just explain why, there's a lot of fear with these kinds of systems, especially in a cold weather climate, right? Where we're at, I think it's like zone 5-ish. So, did you see any issues with your homes, like during that last polar vortex, with these types of systems?
These houses were fine in the polar vortex.
Yeah.
To answer your question about have we used any of the fully ducted furnace-looking, I forget what they're called, but the Mitsubishi,
like
the mini split systems that have a full velocity blowers and run through traditional ductwork throughout the home. We do. This house is a 2,200 square foot house exterior footprint. We have a 3,300 square foot version. Those are really our two home models. That one we have two zoned, traditional looking but mini split electric systems that are awesome too.
Okay.
Yeah, people are very happy with them. Those during the polar vortex, start off by saying Chicago has a -10 set point. You are supposed to design your homes so that they stay as warm as you want them to be, even when it's -10. Well, we got to -20. So those homes did, go below their set points, but they were, I think the lowest I saw was 65 in those. But, and that partly is because some of the systems can shut down at -18. Our systems didn't shut down, but what I understand is if they, this may be too technical, but if what I was told by the Mitsubishi is that if there's one outdoor unit and then there's a transfer box to multiple indoor units, then those systems do not shut down as a safety precaution, as some do. But what we have done and what we will do from now on is we're going to have just a couple electric resistive baseboard units in each home as a belt and suspenders, which is what's done in like Minnesota and colder climates.
Right.
Or you can add actually a relatively inexpensive version of that to the air handler that would kick in and they can if it dropped below 65 or something in the house as a safety precaution. But across the board, people love these systems. They're so comfortable and so happy with them. Yeah, it's a luxury feature. It's one of those things you do because it's more energy efficient, but it sells houses.
And any conversations still with trade-offs of using ground source heat pumps instead, or are those pretty much out of the conversation now?
I have not explored them in, I'd say, the last 5 years, at which point I found air-to-air source heat pumps to be superior to ground source heat pumps in this climate.
Okay. As far as efficiency, or just like cost versus efficiency?
Yes. I don't know if money is no object. I don't live in that world, so
right.
So I don't know. I mean, it's so much more technically difficult, particularly in Chicago. You have to. There's something called the Board of Underground if you want to dig deeper than 12 feet in the ground. I know anecdotal stuff is somewhat rude to an entire industry, but I've just seen problems with deep well not geothermal, but ground source heat pumps.
Right.
So,
right.
But
so another. Did you have any other items to add on energy efficiency for the house?
Choose any fixture and just install LED bulbs.
Right.
It means if the bulb fails, you're not replacing an entire fixture. You're just replacing the bulb. And what else? We have ERVs in the home. We have the second half of build tight is ventilate right. And if you're building a house that's super airtight, you have to have mechanical ventilation. So in our basement ceiling and our second floor ceiling, we have Panasonic Spot ERVs, which are continuously bringing fresh air into the home, exhausting stale air. and moving heat and moisture so that in the summer you're not bringing in hot, moist air into your home, and in the winter you're not exhausting heat and bringing in frigid, cold air. You're exchanging that heat. You're moving it from inflow to outflow or vice versa to keep the energy cost down.
So those are decentral, like point source systems, right? They're not
Right.
conducted throughout the house.
Right.
So then from a ventilation standpoint, you still have standalone Energy Star bath fans,
Yes.
hood range.
Correct.
Conducted,
We have hood range, which is 300 CFM or below. We have Panasonic bath fans, which are awesome and usually are a callback or an inspector issue because they're so darn quiet they think they're not working, which we enjoy showing them that they are. Yeah, you can put a piece of toilet paper up there and show them it's working.
Right.
Those are the one item we probably spend 400 to 500% more than the cheap item, but so we can spend, instead of paying $40, we can spend $300 each on those, but it's a small budget item overall. But they're awesome. They actually remove the amount of humidity from a bathroom after you take a shower that you need to have removed. You can see it happening. They're great, and they have all kinds of options, and
Right.
you can have them run via turn on automatically by a humidistat or by a motion sensor. They're just plug and play. You can add those modules later.
Right.
So yeah, I never thought I'd be waxing eloquent about bath fans, but
Right.
yeah,
Right.
they're good.
Yeah. So, besides ventilating out the pollutants, preventing them from happening in the first place is a big part of the environmental quality aspects of LEED and green building. Obviously, by going all electric, you sort of eliminated that risk of
Yes.
carbon monoxide, moisture, combustion
Right.
issues. So that's great. Any other ways or strategies you've used to just kind of reduce indoor pollutants from happening in the first place?
Yeah, I mean that's one aspect of there's usually, I think there's several reasons people are interested in green homes, and that's one I forget to mention more often than I should, is the health aspects of it. There's you care about the environment, you care about your wallet, but there's also the health aspects. And one I always forget, so I'm going to mention it first, is the fact that we have a new home, we have a new copper water line to the home. Actually has nothing to do with the fact that we're a green home, but at least you don't have to worry about lead in this home, because that lead service line is that's where the lead in the water is coming from, is the connection between the street. So that's just a new home versus older home benefit. But in terms of the health of indoor occupants, we do ventilate out, like you mentioned. We don't have a recycling carbon filtered microwave range hood over there. We're getting what we want to get out of the house out. Of course, there's an energy penalty on that, but we think it's worth it. In general, our materials are all low VOC or otherwise green certified. If we do have carpet in the house, we don't in this house, it's going to be Green Label Plus. Our floor finish, our hardwood floor finish, is a water-based finish. It's not the traditional hardwood floor finish that kills half the birds in the neighborhood when after it's installed. And all of our paints are no VOC, and interior caulks are as well. What else for?
Got a non-paper face shower and tub surround.
Yes.
Helps reduce mold.
Yep, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, one thing, you can't see it on the camera, but walking in here, we don't smell anything. Right? It doesn't have that.
Doesn't have the chemical new house smell, right?
Yeah.
Right. Although it is a new house.
Yeah. What about from a water conservation side? Anything that stands out?
Sure. We do the low-hanging fruit of water sense fixtures, which you can buy off the shelf at Home Depot. We average our shower outlets to 1.5 gallons per minute, which is a LEED point or two there. We do give people a timed what's it called? Hose and sprinkler system.
Yeah.
we have what are called Niagara stealth toilets, which I'm also an evangelist about. 0.8 gallons per minute, which is when you typically when you buy a dual flush toilet, you have an option, and the lowest option is the 0.8 gallons per minute. These toilets have one button. It's always 0.8 gallons per minute. They're awesome. Also, didn't think I would be waxing eloquent about toilets. I recommend them to everybody I know. I have them in all my houses. I have them in my house. Never ever had a problem with them. It's been many years now. They don't cost much more. You can have them delivered from Home Depot. If you have an apartment building or something, you'll save money. Just throw all the old ones out and put in new ones. So that's.
I see they have a line now that gets even lower, down to like 0.5 on one end, 0.9 on the other.
Okay. Okay.
Which looks interesting. Have you looked into that?
I haven't. No, I didn't even know that. No.
Yeah. I wonder how low you can go, but
I'll try it in my house first, and then start.
If you want to keep trying.
Yeah. Why not?
Yeah.
I'm impressed by the people who are building those. So. Yeah.
So what's next for you? I mean, it seems like you've got a neighborhood of housing that you're developing.
Yes.
Any future strategies? I mean, obviously you're doing a lot of great work here, getting to LEED, getting to net zero. I think you're aiming for LEED Platinum-ish, right?
Yes. Yes.
So what is anything new you're going to be trying out as we move forward?
In terms of energy efficiency, envelope, mechanicals, I'm looking forward to a heat pump water heater that is connected to my Mitsubishi outdoor unit, and instead of kind of stealing the heat from the basement and exhausting cold air into the basement, is having that happen outside.
Okay.
That's an innovation I'm really waiting for the technology to, or the affordable technology to catch up to. What I'm looking forward to is just more building of these homes. We have some 2 flats that we're hoping to build that add to the affordability of the homes. We've penciled them out where somebody earning 60% of area median income can afford a 2 flat, which would be this house essentially.
Wow.
So a 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath house, first and second floor with a lower level 1-bedroom apartment, which could get $900 a month and really add to the income that allows for the affordability of the homes. So that's exciting. Part of our mission is to make these excellent homes available to everyone.
Right.
And not just the elite or people who can afford $1 million house.
Right.
So,
do you have any sort of set aside or intentionality so that you're ensuring kind of people within that 60-80% AMI are the ones getting, or is it just so it is hitting that range and it's available?
Yes and no. So depending on the project.
Right.
Millionaire wants to buy one of these houses, God bless them, I'm happy to sell it to them.
Right.
And we'll find a place to build it for them. But there are projects we have in the pipeline where we're getting the land from the city of Chicago for $1, and we'll be restricted to selling to people who have an income either under 100 or 120% of area median income.
Okay. There's another LEED credit for you too.
Really?
100% AMI. Yeah.
Oh.
Let that add on.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay. That's great.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Well, that's great to hear. I think there's a huge need, obviously, for affordable housing in our cities,
right.
And a lot of times it's usually looked at as something that has to be just sort of the worst type of housing that can be built. So it's just
Right.
amazing to see what you're doing with that, and hopefully we can keep tracking it and telling the story.
Yeah, where's my competition? Come on,
Right, yeah.
Catch up. Come on, guys, girls. I want to see more of this, and I'm happy to talk about it and tell people what I know about it, particularly people who are authentically interested in building this way.
Right.
So
where can people go to learn more about your company and what you guys are doing?
GreenlineHomes.com is our website. Just Google us. Reach out to me if you want.
Right.
Happy to talk.
You'll be on the tour in 2020, maybe?
We've been on the tour every year except one, so probably,
Good.
as long as we have something to show, which we will.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else to add? Or?
Just call your congressman and tell them to support carbon fee and dividend, please. HR 763. That's my plug.
That's Illinois specific?
No, that's congressional. That's
okay.
nationwide. Carbon fee and dividend is I think the most viable political solution to climate change. There's a bill in Congress with 50 some co-sponsors. It's designed to be bipartisan and to be acceptable to moderate Republicans. It's the primary bill supported by the Citizens Climate Lobby. So Google Citizens Climate Lobby and join that if you can. That's my pitch.
All right. Thanks for having us out.
All right. Thanks.
Be sure to check out all of our courses available online that you can watch anytime and anywhere to pick up your CEUs. Before you go, make sure to subscribe to us on YouTube to get weekly updates and stay up to date on green building science courses, webinars, and home tours. Thanks again.